Welcome back to another exciting episode of Jerry's Garage Talk. That's right, you lucky viewers. You got me. I am the host of Jerry's Garage Talk, Jerry Booth. Sit alongside me as always, my sidekick,
Max.
Her name's not Max.
Oh, it's Max.
I don't want to call you Max.
It's Max or I walk.
Okay, Max and I, we want to tell you what we did this weekend. We went to my buddy's shop, George Dukas. He's been around for a long time, over 30 years. And we wanted to show you how to do some proper maintenance with your vehicle.
We're going to show you oil changes, how to check your antifreeze and your fluid levels. All important things in getting your car to last a long time.
Matter of fact, we had this young lady in this video that has over 300,000 miles on her car by doing proper maintenance. So you might want to bookmark this episode. This way you can find it. You don't have to be searching for it. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Jerry's Garage Talk
on GoFlow.com.
Jerry's Garage Talk right here on GoFlow.com. Today we're going to be talking about keeping it simple. That's right, back to the basics. And we got my good friend over here we're going to be talking with, George Dukas. How you doing, George?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Been in business how long now?
34.
34 years. And that's right, back for popular demand, our good friend Nitro. How you doing, man?
Jerry, I am doing great.
That's fantastic. Our whole show today is about back to basics. Cars last a little bit longer, but they cost a heck of a lot more. We're going to show you how to make sure you keep these cars in tip-top shape. Just some simple things that you should be doing each and every month. So don't touch those knobs. Don't fast forward whatsoever. We'll be right back. You're watching Jerry's Garage Talk on GoFlow.com. And again, George, I really all right. Well, I really appreciate you having us out here today. And what we want to do today, guys, is show you, how to maintain your car and keep your car in great running condition. Here we've got a 97 Tahoe with 150,000 miles on it. And if you do the proper maintenance, you're going to be able to get this kind of look out of it and have it still work the way it does today. Again, now you're going to actually bring in your technician now. How long has he been with you?
He's been with me close to a year now.
All right.
His name's Dick.
All right.
And he's a technician for over 25 years.
All right. Well, come on over here, Dick. How you doing? Welcome to Jerry's Garage Talk, my friend.
How you doing?
All right, now you've been a certified tech for how many years, my friend?
27.
27 years, and you got hooked up with George, and things are going pretty good. You guys staying pretty busy?
Yeah, steady.
All right. What I want to do today, Dick, is actually let's just show our viewers some ways to make sure how to check their oil properly, and exactly how this car works, and some of the things maybe they should be able to do themselves. Okay. You're going to help me through this?
Sure.
All right. Sounds good. All right, I want to start here with the basics here. Dick, can you show me the proper way how to check your motor oil?
Okay, the best thing to do is let the engine be shut off for about 5 minutes so all the oil will drain back into the pan. Then you look for the dipstick, will either be yellow or it'll say engine oil on it.
Okay.
You pull it out, you can wipe it off and put it back in. Pull it out again and then look to see where your oil level is compared to the hash marks on the dipstick.
I don't know if you can get this or not, George, but there's actually an add mark and a full mark in there. So if anytime you're in between either one of those, you don't need to add a quart of oil. But if it is down below the add mark, that's when you need to add a quart of oil. And you got to be careful. Sometimes you don't want to overfill it. That's probably worse than almost being if it's down a quart. So make very sure that it's in between the hash marks or it's down below the add mark before you actually put a quart of oil in it. Now, again, best thing to do is probably refer to your owner's manual. Most of them are going to tell you 3,000–4,000 miles. Well, some of the new cars will actually say 75 to 10,000 miles. I got to be honest, in my opinion, I think that's way too long. I mean, it'll cost you $30 every 3,000–4,000 miles to change your oil. That's what I recommend. Now, on some of the other things here you've got a brand new interstate battery in here. What is the purpose of a battery, a car battery?
It basically just stores electricity to turn your starter motor over, to turn the engine over.
All right. So again, that's the basic purpose of that. It's just to go ahead and engage the starter into the flywheel so that your engine will turn over. And then your alternator here, I don't know if you can see this here, this will actually keep your battery fully charged. How often do some of these electronic components go out? What do you recommend on changing something like that?
There's really no recommended interval for changing like an alternator.
Okay.
The battery has basically a useful life, some of them are 3 years, 5 years, If you keep the cables tight, and usually if the alternator's working properly, you don't have a problem with the battery.
All right, so probably, would you say maybe 4 or 5 years, even though if it's this one looks like a 60 month battery. So about what, 4 or 5
I'd
years?
say 4 or 5 years, yeah.
All right, I know we got some cold winters here in Illinois, but I tell you, we have some extreme heat also in the summertime. Heat will kill a battery a lot faster than severe cold anytime. All right, also, I see the reservoir over here for the radiator. How do you know, when to add fluid to that?
Okay, well, when you look on most of these reservoirs now, they have a hot and a cold mark.
Okay.
And, if you wanted to check your coolant, you can go out there in the morning before you start up when it's cold.
All right.
And look to see where the level is on there.
All right.
And if it's a little low, you can add it up to fill it up to the cold mark.
All right. Now, you got your regular radiator cap here. Can I just go right there and check it?
No, you don't. You can't really tell here because the system expands and contracts as it gets warm. So
okay.
it could be low in here and empty here,
All right.
You could top this off and it could still be empty.
All right. Plus, I tell you what, this thing is under a lot of pressure. Let me tell you something, folks. Do never, ever open this thing when it's hot. I've seen severe burns. I've seen guys actually have to go to the hospital and have skin grafts. Make sure you never check this thing when it's hot. Always, if you're ever going to open this up, make sure it is cold and set maybe, a good 8-9 hours before you open this darn thing up. And a good way to check your antifreeze now is with a hydrometer to check the strength of it. Is that what you're doing here at Dukas Automotive?
Yeah, I usually check them with a hydrometer.
Now, is that the kind of thing that looks like a turkey baster?
I have the refractor type. You look up through the light and it'll read on a scale.
All right, so you're actually looking through it and it looks like a prism and it'll tell you exactly the strength. How often should we probably change our antifreeze? I see lifetime antifreeze. I mean, is that true or does it lose strength?
The new antifreezes they have now are more compatible with the aluminum blocks and aluminum cylinder heads, and they tell you they're good for 100,000 miles. But usually you're changing coolant sometime, putting a water pump on it, so
exactly.
you're adding to it. The old green coolant, probably 25,000-30,000 miles, have the system flushed.
All right.
You don't see too many of them anymore.
All right. So, and with some of the newer antifreeze too, don't they have a lot of the rust inhibitors and everything in there as well?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's where he stores his air cleaner. How often should we take a look at that?
I'd say every oil change. Just look at it. If it's pretty easy to get to.
Okay.
Like this one here is right out in the open.
Can you kind of give us a demonstration here on what we do?
This one just has 2 clips on each side of the air box.
Okay.
You just pull the clips off, lift the cover off of it. And you can pull the filter right up like this.
All right. What are we looking for as far as a dirty filter?
Well, if it was, you'll see leaves stuck on here,
right.
And whatever kind of debris, paper and stuff like that. Sometimes you can look up through the light and see if you can see light through it, All
right.
Then it's okay to use it,
I actually remember one time when I had my shop, there was mice living in there.
Oh, yeah.
They built a nest up in there. It's warm up underneath the hood, and they'll actually build a nest right up in there.
That happens a lot.
Now, should this be changed, or we still got some life left on this air filter?
This one looks like it's okay yet.
Okay.
I mean, like this one being easy to get to, every oil change, just check it, but if some of them are hard to get to.
All right.
So you would just maybe every 15,000 miles pull it out.
Okay.
There's a good chance you would need it.
All right.
Replace it.
Fantastic. So again, probably every oil change, guys, just take a look at it. So every 4,000 miles, find out the location of your air filter and take a peek. Now, this one's a little bit tricky. This is automatic transmission. I've heard all kind of things that you can check out. Automatic transmission with the car running, not running. What's the proper procedure on checking the transmission?
All right, on this one here, you want the engine hot and the transmission hot.
All right.
You could drive it around for 10-15 minutes, park it on a level surface, put it in park, and leave it running.
Okay.
And you pull the dipstick out, pretty much just like the oil.
All right, this one's a little bit tough there, but trust me, Dick's got some good arms there. He can get this thing out of there. You want me to do it for you?
You can get it.
No, all right. But again, what I like to do too is when I'm pulling a transmission out like this too, like Dick said, make sure it's running, get it up to operating temperature, 15-20 minutes. What I like to do too is I got it in park and I'll go all the way down through the gears and then come back up. This way it also fills the clutch packs and everything so you can get a good reading on your transmission. Now, on this here, how often should you probably change your transmission fluid?
I'd say about every 30,000.
Every 30,000?
Yeah. Drop the pan, put a filter in it.
All right. How do you feel about these new systems? I see them all over the place where they can just flush them out.
It works. It'll get everything out of the converter and the cooler and all that, A lot of these newer fluids, don't need to be changed.
Okay.
100,000 mile fluids, you know.
Now, I actually remember, too, I remember a guy came into my shop years ago. He wanted to change. I tried to talk him out of it. It had been about 100,000 miles. He never changed it. We ended up changing the fluid. 90 days later, the transmission went out.
Yeah.
Why would that happen?
Well, a lot of friction materials that were in the old fluid, they're not there anymore.
Exactly. So I'm telling you, if you don't do it on a 30, 40,000 mile intervals, it could cause you a lot of problems. So about every 30,000 miles, make sure you do that. All right, a few other things here. Now, we've got hoses here. This looks like it's probably been replaced, or it might have actually been the original hose on here. What's a good way to actually check your hoses?
Well, you can, obviously look at the hose clamps for leaks.
Okay.
You know, you might be able to see something leaking, you know, but you can just squeeze them and see if they feel soft.
All right, so you're telling me a hard hose is better than a soft hose any day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soft hose could blow up, you know.
Why are you looking at me like that? All right. Also, I don't know if you know this or not, but your washer solvent here, it is against the law in the state of Illinois to not have washer solvent in here. You can actually get a ticket if you don't. If you're mean to a cop and he pulls you over and he wants to raise your hood and everything like that, he can actually give you a ticket if your washer solvent isn't full. So, and the best way to do this, just pop the top off like that?
Pop the top off, and usually these don't have any way of really telling. Some of them have a little foam plunger in there.
All right.
If the foam plunger is up towards the top of the opening, then there's fluid in it.
All right.
But most of the time, all you do is just pour it in and fill it up.
All right, well, fantastic. All right, one more thing here. Here's our master cylinder. I hear that sometimes you should never have to worry about changing brake fluid. Should you flush your brake fluid? What's your opinion on that, you being a certified tech for over 25 years?
I personally don't think it's a sealed system.
Okay.
You know, I don't see how you could have moisture build up in there, you know.
All right.
A lot of places push the brake system flush.
Right.
You know, but it's like, if you don't have a problem, don't fix it.
All right, I understand. Now, how do you add brake fluid to this? I'm going to slide this way here, and I'll let you slide in there. And if you can show our viewer audience what's the best way to go ahead, and I'll switch places with you to do that.
All right, most of the master cylinders will have a little window in them where you can see minimum and maximum, it says on there.
Okay.
But a lot of them, if they're dirty, you can't see through them.
Okay.
This one here's got 4 tabs on the cover.
All right.
You just lift all 4 of these up, flip this over, and then you can see how full the reservoirs are.
Now, there's actually lines in there to showing the full and the add mark. What are we looking at here? How does that look?
This one's a little bit low.
Okay.
You could, you know, top it off a little bit. It just means the brakes pads are wearing.
Okay.
Fluid is going more into the calipers.
All right. So actually, as the pads wear down, they start so the piston coming out of the caliper will push that pad a little bit closer to keep tight on the rotor.
Right.
So it doesn't mean we have a leak here.
No.
It just means that we've got some wear.
Right. It's normal.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
Sure, this rubber covers back on.
All right, if there's anything else I missed, Dick, you tell me, what else should we be looking for on our car once a month, taking a peek under the hood? What should some of your do-it-yourselfers do to make sure these cars last a little bit longer?
Well, main thing is look, you know, like get your hoses for leaks. You know, make sure your battery terminals are tight, the cables are tight to the battery.
Okay, which are here.
Right.
All right.
You know, you can see most of the drive belts you could see if it's got any cracks in it, you know.
Now, this is a serpentine belt. What that means, it's one drive belt that drives almost everything from your air conditioning to your alternator to your water pump. And it's grooved, and sometimes it is actually hard to see the cracks in there. But if this thing breaks on you on the side of the road, guys, I tell you, you're going to be it's going to be a world of hurt. So about how often maybe should you probably change a drive belt on here?
I would say probably after about 35, 40,000, they start cracking, you know.
All right. Well, again, I appreciate you taking your time with us. I hope this cleared some of your problems up, some of your fears. That's what we tried to do today. Take some of your fears out of it. These are certain things that you should be able to do, consumer, each and every month. I appreciate it, Dick, for you helping me out today. And you're watching Jerry's Garage Talk on GoFlow.com.
Lubrication. Kendall GT1 with liquid titanium forms an extra layer of protection around pistons and other critical engine parts to dramatically reduce friction, which helps mitigate wear and may lead to fuel economy improvements.